Hey, just you. Cool. Glad to see you. Hey, everyone. So glad you're here. So in the countdown tonight, I want you guys to stand up and pull out your phones because you will need them for this game. So there are going to be images and frames that you'll have to capture. So the first person to capture the image in the correct frame and bring it up here gets a point. So there's like a bunch of rounds. So you guys ready to do this? It's going to require some movement, some creativity, some fast reflexes. If you're online, welcome tonight as well. You can play too. Just screenshot it and send it to us, and we'll know that you're amazing. Sound good? Yay. Again, one person. So glad. I'm hoping for two tonight. We're going to get there. It's going to be okay. So go ahead and hit that, Wesley. And it does have sound, so, you know, there we go. So here we go. Yeah, steal a friend's phone if you don't have one. It's in the instructions. It's totally okay. Here we go, round one. Hey, you guys got to stand up for this. So capture the tennis ball in the circle. Take a picture with that there. First person to have it in the right frame and bring it up here. You got 15 seconds. You guys can do this. I see some flashes. You got to turn the flash off if you're going to be in it. Otherwise, you're going to be late every single time. Come on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, nope, not quite, not quite. Round two. No one in that one, but here we go. Get the bow tie. Let's see it. Yo, we got a point. Hey, it's okay. Let's see it. Yes, you got it. Whoa, yes. Oh, so amazing. 3, 2, 1. Boom, okay, good job. You guys are getting it. You're on it. Here we go, round 3. Hey, this is a great time to highlight Anchored Live Instagram. Give us a follow, Anchored Florence. Great stuff there. Oh, killing it. Here we go. You guys got this for sure. Yes, it does. Round four. Love it. Here we go, round 4. Oh, how many football players in the house? Let's see if you really have some hands. Let's see if you cap it. For those coming in late or joining us online, go ahead and try to take a picture with your phone with the object in the frame, exactly like that, and you get points. Yes. All right, round 5, we're stepping it up. Oh, not quite. Yes, sir. Round 5. Oh, how many gamers in the house? Yes, love it. Some OG Pac-Man. Close, so close. I'm not going to quite give it, but man, that is so close. Not quite. All right, here we go. Round 6. No one got Pac-Man. Hard one. This is only going to step it up a little bit. How many of you have never flown on an airplane before? Never. Like never. You've never. Yes. Okay. Some people. Dude, I love how cash you just walk up. You're like. I love it. 3, 2, 1. Yes. Round 7. How many are stoked for summer? I'm so pumped for summer. Summer camp is coming up. It's so excited. We're pumped for that. Killing it. Not quite. Yes. Man, Caleb, you're killing this. He's got to figure it out. All right, round 8. It's heating up. All right, how many of you are like learner's permits peeps? Anyone have their learner's permit and you're like driving, let's go? How many are really pumped to get your learner's permit? Anyone? Excited, yeah, to drive. You do have it. That is great. 3, 2, that is right. Okay, round 9. It's getting real, y'all. Oh, wow. Okay, little throwback, deep cuts. Let's go. Some fidget spinners. How many of you were on the fidget spinner revival? You were like, yes, I need this for my ADD. Anyone? Just me? Cool. And your teacher would be like, no, you don't. You'd be like, hey, it's medication. You got it. Anyway. You guys killing the fidget spinner game. All right, final round, round 10. Round 10. Wow. Oh, close. Yes, yes. It is. You gotta time the current, okay? It's gotta time the current. And again, just calm Caleb with like, yeah, this is like my 10th one. Gotten it. Thanks for playing, you guys. I'm gonna invite Elizabeth to come up. She has some announcements for you all. No? Okay, cool. All right. Never got that memo, but welcome, Elizabeth. So good to see you. Give it up for Elizabeth. Awesome. So tonight is an amazing night here at Anchor. We're really excited to have a guest with us, Pastor Sean Silveri. He's going to be bringing the word a little later. We got some announcements for you guys. Amplify Conference is coming up, and you guys, there is a baking category this year. Like, how many, like, I'm serious, like, you can bake for fine arts. Like, that is so amazing. So, no, you have to be a student. Sorry, Rebecca. No. No Becker's cakes. I don't know. I was just like on the fly trying to come up with a brand for you. Didn't work out. But Amplify's coming up. Be dreaming. Like, if you are interested and you're like, I am curious about all the things that I can present in, come find me. Like, I remember we had Matt come a few weeks ago and share about Amplify. So guys, be thinking right now, be practicing, be crafting what you're going to present. So the date for that is May 6th through the 8th. So we're going Thursday through Saturday. We're going to Bend, Oregon. It's for early registration, it's $90. For late registration, it goes up $30. So it's $120. So get the early bird registration. If funds are an issue where you're like, hey, I really want to go, but when in Rona, I get it. So come talk to me early in advance, because if you want a price break or some help or scholarship, you have to register for the early bird price. That's the only point we can help you. If you come late, we can't do that. So, oh my goodness. Ethan Moore's in the house. Give it up. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I had to. I saw the hair and I was like, it's Ethan. I'm so sorry. Just blew him up. So glad you guys are here. And now, if I say something now, Rebecca, and I'm like, and Corey, it's just going to be awkward. Sorry. But speaking of visitors, if you guys are a visitor in the house, we're so excited you're here. Make sure to connect with Kara. Kara, wave your hand. Kara's awesome. She's one of our leaders. Make sure to connect with Christina. Christina, raise your hand. Christina's awesome, and they'll get you checked in to where you can feel like part of the family. It's so great to see all of you here. So again, Amplify is coming up. If you've made a decision to follow Jesus but haven't been baptized yet, we have baptisms happening April 7th. So talk to a youth leader tonight. Get signed up. It's one of the greatest things we get to do in our faith and in our walk with Jesus is baptism, to declare what God has done in our lives. It's an outward expression of what has already happened on the inside. We're just declaring that we're moving from death to life. So April 7th, those are there. Those are the announcements. Let's invite the worship team to come forward. Let's go ahead and stand up to your feet tonight. Let's take a breath just in case you're hyperventilating. Talking to myself there. Anyway, you're like, I just practiced. I saw that, Sissel. You were like, oh. Hey, Give it up for Sissel just being here, man. What a stand up with like just a grunt. It's awesome. Online, you're not going to have the same experience. I'm really sorry. But Jesus, thank you for tonight. Thank you so much for this moment that we have to come into this place to be in this moment in time and to worship you, God, to direct our attention to you, to put our hope in you, our trust in you, to declare the promises of your word through song and music. And tonight I pray that we would walk out of this place changed. We would walk out of this place pondering and wrestling with things, and we would walk out of this place filled with hope and encouragement. Thank you, Jesus, for who you are and for calling us. In your name, amen. Let's go ahead and worship tonight.
take from me my destiny. I belong to you. Give life, you are love. You bring light to the darkness. You give hope. You restore every heart that is broken. And great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. And great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. And great are you, Lord. You give life. You are love. You bring light to the darkness. You give hope. You restore every heart that is broken. And great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. And great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. And great are you, Lord. And all the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry, these bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. And all the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry, these bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. And all the earth will shout your praise. Our hearts will cry, these bones will sing. Great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour out our praise. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise to you only. And great are you, Lord. It's your breath in our lungs, so we pour out our praise. We pour
Dear God, thank you for bringing us all here tonight. Most of all, thank you for making a place just where we as a youth can just come together and express our feelings about our faith and our spiritual wellness. God, these are troubling times. I know there's few things we can look forward to, but God, thank you so much for making this one of those things. With hybrid learning and sports coming back, I think it's just a blessing and just an overall praise to you, God. Thank you for getting us through these hard times, and overall, thank you for being there.
Amen. You guys can be seated tonight. Thanks, worship team. Can we give it up for them tonight? I love that prayer too, Court. It's such a beautiful way to give thanksgiving to God. It was humbling. So I love just reminders like that and prayers like that. So cool. So tonight we have a guest with us that I just love this dude. This dude's like my people. And Sean Silveri has been in youth ministry for 12 years. About a year ago, a little over a year ago, just under a year, stepped into a role that with our network, the Oregon Ministry Network of the Assemblies of God, to oversee youth and kids ministry for our state. So he's the pastor to the kids and youth pastors of our state. And I asked him to come and be a part of the Faith+Irl series. And so tonight he's gonna talk a little bit about what it looks like, what Jesus said about when you give. So let's give it up for Sean tonight. Really pumped to have him.
Hey, yeah, man, love you. Oh, sorry, I probably turned that on a little bit soon. Let's give it up for the tech team, those working on tech. Yeah, they are awesome. Yep. Who else can we embarrass? Oh, you know what? We need to do something real quick. Can everybody hear me okay? Okay, cool. Y'all look great. You look fantastic. So, all right, we need to do something real quick. Let me just talk about Jeff and Jenny real quick. Okay, yeah, let me just talk about, okay, so Jeff, Pastor Jeff, PJ, the PJs, yes, because it's Jenny and Jeff, the PJs. So Jeff's been a good friend of mine for a few years. I remember the first time, I became a youth pastor at Hope Church in Albany. How many of you know we're talking about Amplify Fine Arts, okay? Okay, so our church, we hosted Fine Arts. We have continued to host Fine Arts, and this was probably 10 years ago, almost to the day. I'll never forget your youth pastor coming up to me. I'm sitting in the lobby of our youth center, and he's like, yo, what's up, man? I know you're the new guy here. My name's Jeff. And like, he is always himself. And there's something refreshing about that, you guys. Pastor Jeff and Jenny are who they are. In front of you here on this stage, off the stage, by themselves, they love Jesus. Jeff loves his wife, Jenny. Jenny loves Jeff, okay? And they love you guys. You guys have great youth pastors. You have great youth pastors. So give it up for them. They are great. I was gonna say, let's see, maybe we have time for this. I need to hear maybe one crazy story about Pastor Jeff. Maybe something funny, something weird that happened, like, oh no, that just, like you catch something on fire or whatever. Like something that happened that you guys, because you've been here for, is this 6 years? Is it almost 7 years you've been the youth pastor? That is rare, you guys. That's super rare. I was privileged to be the youth pastor at my church for 9.5 years, which is super rare. But for Jeff and Jenny to be here that long, almost 7 years. So there's got to be some stories. Okay, so give me a story. What's a funny story? Let's go. We got time. I mean, not a ton of time, but we got just. Come on, camping trip. Let's go. Oh, I almost saw a hand there. Hey, thanks for praying, by the way, bro. Huh? Shamu? What? Bamboozled? No, not allowed? No, it doesn't have to be like crazy. It'd be just kind of funny, like something about Pastor Jeff that this like is so, maybe it's a tick or a characteristic or something that happens continually that makes you guys laugh. What, you gotta tell me. Anything? Nothing? What is that? Stupid time? Anything? Nothing? Okay, that's fine. Awesome. Well, maybe you got, okay, here's the deal. Think about it. We'll be here, so you can just tell me a story afterwards, okay? How you guys doing? Everybody okay? You guys okay? I need to stand up real quick. Y'all are a little too, I think I love the ambiance. Yeah, let's just stretch it out a little bit. Somebody fall? Everybody okay? I love the ambiance. I love the feel here. And so, but sometimes, people just start to just like nod off because it's so chill. You had the cowboy cauldron going, which was beautiful, 9 square, all that. Okay, all right. Now just look to somebody and say you look good. Say you look good. Okay, you look good. All right, cool. Go ahead and have a seat now. Have a seat. Like what Pastor Jeff said, my wife and I are we're renaming, rebranding Gen Now Ministries, pastors or directors, if you will. How many of you remember Brian and Barb Eno? Do you guys remember that all? Several of you? Okay, so we kind of took over for them, the Oregon Ministry Network. And it's basically we disciple and resource youth and children's pastors and workers all across the 190 churches in Oregon. It's an honor. It's a privilege. We're brand new into this. We just are starting. So Amplify Fine Arts is basically going to be kind of the first event that we're able to do similar or almost normal to what was before COVID. And so I'm really excited about that. Make sure you sign up and make sure you be a part of that. And let Pastor Jeff know and a leader know if you want to be a part of that. It's going to be awesome. Bend location is going to be cool. And so that's kind of basically our role and what we do. I have a picture of our family, I believe. I think I have a picture of my family. I don't know if it's up there or if it's on your phones. You do the code. Oh, sweet, it's there too. It's also on your phones if you did the QR code. But this, oh, geez. So this is my lovely wife, Ashley. Micah is my oldest. He's at the bottom of the picture. Canaan is the middle right there. And then Kinsley, she's now almost 6 months now. So she is perfect in every way. And so, yes, very precious, perfect in every way. That's my family. I love them. They send their greetings to you. Normally, we try to all kind of powwow together, but it would have been a little too late for the kids. So we hope to see you guys at Fine Arts, Amplify Fine Arts, yeah. So if you have a Bible, whether it's a physical Bible or if it's on your phone, double fisting, go ahead and go to Matthew chapter 6. Matthew chapter 6. I know also if you did the QR code or on the screen via YouVersion, that YouVersion app, you'll also have an opportunity to look at the scripture from there. So Jeff and I, we chatted about this journey that you guys have been going through with Jesus' words, when you, and it got me kind of thinking. I'm kind of thinking of the words when you describes for us an indefinite point or series of points in time. An indefinite point or a series of points in time. This is at least the way that Jesus intended these two words. And for me, I got to thinking like it's kind of like a roller coaster, being on a roller coaster. How many of you guys like roller coasters? I mean, yeah, hooting and hollering, raise hand. How many of you? Okay, got some. You guys don't like, this whole row doesn't like roller coasters? Okay. So I'm not a huge fan. I got to be honest with you, Dane. I'm not a huge fan, dude, of roller coasters. But this idea of when you reminds me that if you put yourself on a roller coaster, you ain't going nowhere, right? It's inevitable. Okay, when you get strapped in, think about it with me, okay, guys? You're in the line, the newest roller coaster. I don't know where would be the most epic roller coaster. I guess Yeah, Top Gun. Yeah, that's legit. If you guys ever been to Six Flags, because you've got Vallejo, and then the other one is up in Silverwood or something. There's another roller coaster place. But anyway, think about the epic roller coasters. You're in line, your knees are shaking, at least mine would be. And once you have made the decision to sit down, you are going on a ride. It's inevitable, right? It is inevitable. The idea, it's you are going to be doing like the climb. You're not getting off. You're not getting off at that point. You are going down the corkscrew. You're going to do the big turns. You're going to do a huge drop. Once you've made the decision, it is going down, right? And when Jesus, the when you statements of Jesus are non-negotiable for him. It's non-negotiable. If you are one of his many followers, once you and I bent the knee and came under his authorship and authority, strapped into the roller coaster called I am a disciple of his, once you did that, there are certain things, elsewhere Jesus would call them fruit, that will be a direct result of your decision. It is inevitable. By the way, this is the case with anything that we decide to bend our knee to. We all have a master. All of us have a master. So imagine the scene, okay? Matthew chapter 5, known as the Sermon on the Mount. Just imagine the scene here. You're in the crowd. If you want to, you can close your eyes too. If you don't have to, but if you want to. And this brand new rabbi comes strolling into town and sits upon a hilltop, a little hillside. And he starts waxing eloquently about his rendering of the law, the Torah, the way that governed the Jewish people, that governed them for not just hundreds of years, but thousands of years. He starts talking about what is right, what is good, what is wrong, his perspective of that. This is what rabbis did, okay? His perspective, what it looks like to be one of his disciples and followers, if you would choose to do so. And you begin to notice there's something different about this guy, though, this guy Jesus. He doesn't talk or walk or act like a lot of the other rabbis that are at during his time. He starts saying things like, blessed are those who are poor. Poor. Blessed are those who are peace dealers, peacemakers, peacekeepers. Blessed are those who are meek. Meek? Like, I think of like a mouse. You know, meek. Poor. Blessed are those who are pure. The persecuted. What? So you lean in a little bit. What? This is weird. This is different. And this brand new teacher begins ushering in a brand new way of living. Luke's gospel account of Jesus' life tells us that he spoke with authority unlike any other person. We pick up the storyline in Matthew chapter 6, verses 1 through 4. Oh, by the way, I'm going to have somebody read Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 through 24. Somebody will have, I'll pick somebody, okay? All right, good. All right, here we go. Matthew 6, verse 1. Beware of practicing your righteousness. Another word could be piety. Like, I'm very righteous, okay? Beware of practicing your righteousness before other people in order to be seen by them, for then you will have no reward from your Father who is in heaven. Thus, when you give, first time he says it here, to the needy, sound no trumpet before you, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may be praised by others. Truly I say to you, they have received their reward. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving may be in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. Interesting. Okay, who has chapter 6, verses 19 through 24 for me? Who wants to read that out loud? A good voice, from your belly. Does someone want to do that for me? Crickets. Okay. I see that lean forward. No, okay. No? No one, anybody read for me? Yeah, all the way in the back? You can read it from there. Can you read it really loud? Okay, go for it. What's your name? Gage. Nice. I had a student name. Anyway, sorry. Okay, go ahead, Gage. Yeah. Next. There you go. Good job. Let's give it up for Gage. Give it up for Gage, yeah. Okay, so there's a lot going on here, and we're not going to be able to get to all of it. Surprise, okay? That's okay. Any kind of theological questions, you ask Pastor Jeff. We're good, okay? So there's a lot going on here, but Jesus, what he does from chapter 5 into chapter 6, he shifts his focus on three primary things that the Jewish people of his day saw as standard obligations. You've talked about two of them already in this series, this IRL series. This one is giving money, and the other is praying and fasting. So when you pray, when you fast, when you give, he's hitting on three major standard obligations for a Jewish person or a person that followed the law, all right? So I'll never forget this man walking hand in hand down the street with a girl I really liked. Her name was Teresa, by the way. You're welcome. I was a senior in high school, just turned 18 years old. There was a group of us, about 15 or so friends, and we had just gotten done eating at this cool 50s diner type of restaurant in a really swanky part of San Diego. It's where I went to high school. It's where I'm a Southern Californian. And this place, it's this kind of place that is rude. I don't know if you've heard of these places. It's rude. They're rude to you. In order to amuse guests. It's kind of one of those things. Yeah, some of you, I hear head nods and stuff. And so that's where we were at. And we were done with food. We were making our way to our cars, and he sat on the sidewalk where we walked, head down, eyes to the ground, knees tucked into his chest, tattered clothes, reeking of alcohol and garbage, arms resting on the top of his knees, hands open, pointing to the sky. We see these people, don't we? We see them all the time on the corners, holding their signs, pushing carts filled with all kinds of things, sleeping in tents under highway overpass, walking up and down sidewalks, some talking to themselves because of the mental health issues. And sometimes it's really hard, most times I would say, it's hard to look them in the eyes. But I often wonder their story. Has anyone ever paused long enough to ask these people their name? I walked past this gentleman, hand in hand with Teresa, looked at my date, reached into my pocket, and without looking, pulled out whatever cash I had, ran back and placed it into this man's hands. No words exchanged by either of us. And as I walked back to my crew, the young lady I would only end up dating for about 3 months, because I'm in high school, looked me in the eyes, tilted her head to the side, and smiled. I received my reward. The words generosity and giving is confused and bland in our American culture. It really is. The other day, I placed a generous amount of ice cream into this ceramic black Walmart bowl that I had, and it was peanut butter pot. Whoa, good. Amen. Glory. Peanut butter, chocolate together. The marriage is better than peanut butter and jelly. Amen. Many times last week while driving, I demonstrated generosity by allowing people to move over into the fast lane in front of me to pass those on the right slow lane. But do these types of things make me a generous person? I can be generous with my smile and kindness toward one person and yet hoard money, hoard my resources, and harbor unforgiveness toward another. Am I still considered generous? Jesus gives us a contrast of two different paths here in Matthew chapter 6. The two different ways of living, if you will. In Matthew chapter 6, that Gage read, that second piece, verse 19 through 24, he delivers a devastating blow to his listeners. What you do which everyone thought was the thing of most preeminent. Like, whatever you do is the thing that gets you into heaven, into God's good graces. If you do all these rules and regulations and you do them perfectly and you do them well, then, oh man, you are holy. You are righteous. Especially if you're rich, then you really are righteous. But Jesus turns the table and says what you do does not nearly matter as much as who you serve and why you do what you do. Generosity, like many of the characteristics you've been studying in this series and that Pastor Jeff has been walking through with you guys over the many years, is an issue of authority. Who is your master? Who has you? What has you? So before we quickly break down giving, you and I, we really must wrestle with two questions. What does it mean to be a generous person, and why should I be generous? Why? What's the point? Why should I be generous? So I want you to take just a couple of minutes. We've got some time, and I want you to answer these two questions, or at least dialogue about them, okay, with your neighbor, somebody next to you. It could be 2 or 3 of you, whatever. What does it mean to be a generous person? And then the second question is, why should I be generous? Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. What does it mean to be a generous person, and why? I love it. I love the conversation. I hear the whispering like little chickmunks, you know? Yeah, it's so awesome. Go another minute and a half or so. Minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes. We'll see. Let's do another 30 seconds, about 30 seconds. Not going to be a hard 30 seconds, but. All I could hear was somebody over here saying, "Not in a weird way." I'm like, oh, I don't know what's going on over there. Sorry. I didn't call anyone out. I don't know who it was, so good. Oh, yo. My friend's throwing you under the bus. Good. I love the chatter. I love the conversation that's happening. Jesus is the pinnacle of a generous life. He is the standard of what it means to be a giver. He gave and continues to give without any reservations. To be generous, to be a giver, is not ambiguous or abstract. It's concrete and found in a person, Jesus. And if you're a follower of his, we are called to image him and his characteristics. If you're a follower of Jesus. John 3:16, everybody knows it, right? It's all over the place. For Father God so loved that he gave. It's ingrained into the very fabric of who our God is, of who he is. In verse 3 and 4 that we just read here in chapter 6, verse 3 and 4, the word that Jesus uses for give can be translated charity. It's a good word for us here. Charity or generosity is quite often a very public thing, which is interesting. It's actually it can be very public, and it's not necessarily a bad thing for it to be public. As I pull out my 5 and a few ones and give to our friend who is made in the image of God, who has his head down and palms up on the sidewalk. It's a public thing. All my friends saw it. Again, I received my reward because I wanted everyone to see that. Okay? It's often a public thing, and it's not necessarily bad, but Jesus is counter this cultural way of thinking and acting. Like his teaching is very counter. So he instructs that his followers, instead of striving for public adornment and achievement and accolades, oh, isn't he so, and she's so, they're so amazing, they're so holy, sound the trumpet. Instead of that, he instructs his followers to be simple and discreet. Simple and discreet. One of the greatest ways you end up not serving the master of money, stuff, friends, relationships, ambition, getting and acquiring more is to give. Simply, to give. James, the brother of Jesus, tells us in his letter, James chapter 1, that our God gives generously and graciously. Generously. He's like, it's like compound, it's like a triple threat there. James piling on to what Jesus is saying. Don't just be a giving person. Be like Jesus, a super duper, over the top, blow people away kind of giver. Be way extreme with how you live your life, that it just bubbles over. Why? Because you love Jesus. Because you love Jesus, because he's given. So what does this mean for us? Okay. What does this mean for us? We're gonna start wrapping this up, okay, guys? You guys are hanging in there. I love it. It's good. You guys good? We good? You following? All right. Sweet. Okay, good. As his disciples and followers, we should be the first to deal out forgiveness, mercy, grace, kindness, a helping hand, a word of encouragement, and truth, even if that truth is hard for people to hear. An inclusive invitation in the midst of COVID. Yeah, invite. What would it look like if every person invited 3 friends to Wednesday night here to Anchored? Y'all fill this place out. It'd be like breaking COVID regulations, crazy. Pastor Jeff would be like, we got to go outside around the cauldron. Okay, an inclusive invitation. Who needs an invitation? Who needs a warm helping hand? Who needs a kind word of encouragement? We need to be the first ones. Christians, followers of Jesus, should be marked by this type of generosity. Not because I have to, not because I'm obligated to do it, but because I have received from Jesus the goodness, the generous, gracious gift of Jesus. Because Jesus has been so good to me. I cannot help but follow in the footsteps of my rabbi, king, and author. We all have an author who writes our story. We all do. Here's the truth. This is the one thing I want you to walk away with. This is a motto. This is how my wife and I live our life. We are not perfect at this, okay? We are older than you, some of you, a lot of you, and we still are learning this, okay? So don't feel at all like, oh, I suck. Don't feel that way at all. This is something that's a lifetime for us to learn. but it's important, and it's this idea of when you give. Okay, here's the truth. Everything I own, everything I have, all things, everything, stuff, all of it is given to me. It's been entrusted to me for this time, for this season, for this life, to advance the mission and kingdom of King Jesus, to advance his good purposes. Everything I have, my house, my cars, all my stuff, okay? My words, my actions, all of it is to glorify Jesus and to advance his mission here on earth. All are tools to be utilized so that all people may come to know Jesus, follow Jesus, and make more Jesus followers. We give so people can hear and know, so he can be known. That's why we do it. That's why we do it. If you're a follower of Jesus. Several years ago, I began a Speed the Light challenge. This is probably 4 years ago. How many of you know what Speed the Light is? Let me see your hands. Raise them. Yeah. It's the youth missions wing, if you will, of the Assemblies of God across our world. So we get to give to missionaries vehicles and sound equipment so they can go into all the remote places of the world, all over the world, and tell people about Jesus. And we get to be a part of that. People you may never, ever meet or see this side of heaven. So I started this challenge. Give May away, called it. Give May away. Pick one thing and decide to give it away the month of May. Yes, it rhymes on purpose, pun intended. You're welcome. Okay? So that people around the world will know, can hear the good news about Jesus. A freshman named Justice, a wrestler, for a whole month collected change. He went literally, he had his big jar. He's a freshman, brand new to the school, brand new to the area, just moved in, got away from a real bad situation, terrible home life, grabbed a big jar, like huge jar, and he went around, hey, you got any change? Got any change? You look at him and you think nothing much of him, but he every single Wednesday night for 5 weeks, he brought in this big jar full of pennies, dimes, and nickels. Huge jar. Had a girl, she took all the babysitting money that she made in May and gave it away. Gave it away. Said, you know what? I'm gonna sacrifice. I'm gonna be generous, overly generous, so that people can hear about Jesus. One of my girls, this is my favorite story, one of my favorites to tell. She was a senior in high school at the time, and she'd been saving up to buy a car, not from a rich family at all. Pretty poor background in some sense. Parents were in the middle of a pretty nasty divorce at this time, or they may have just gotten out of it. Real struggle. She said, you know what? All the money that I would make in May to go towards this car, I'm giving it away. She gave away her car fund. She would be blessed with a car, by the way, later. She would be gifted. Gave it away. I purposely do not tell you how much, the amount that was given, because it doesn't matter. What matters? What matters, Sean? That you and I are cultivating a heart that images the heart of Jesus. That's what he's getting at here in Matthew 6. That's what he's getting at. It's not isolated to things like Speed the Light. But let me tell you guys something. Speed the Light, sacrificing for missionaries so they can go and tell all kinds of people about Jesus, partnering with missionaries, it's a great place to begin. If you never started or even thought about being generous and what that looks like, it's a great spot to begin. Your generation is changing the world. I believe it. Good or bad or indifferent, whatever. We're changing the world. I think that we're in the middle of what I would call a revolution or an awakening again within our nation. And it's coming on the heels of you guys, your generation. If you want to be a part of something bigger than yourself, give your life away to Jesus. his will, his way. He has more in store for you and your generation than you could ever imagine and dream of. What an opportunity we are living in. Really, Sean? So confusing. You know what's so great about this? The confusion and the toxicity of our culture, Jesus shines. He shines. He's better than any narrative worth following after. There are all kinds of voices in our culture, and they will not deliver on their promises to you. Guarantee it. You can quote me, and I don't care. Anybody disagrees with me, we'll talk. No narrative other than the gospel is the only thing that can deliver upon its promises. And being generous like Jesus will change the world. Change the world for good. And it's not confusing. It's not toxic. His will, his way. That's the truth. So begin by coming up with a goal this year for yourself. Well, I could give $100 to Speed the Light. I could do that this year. If you gave $100 last year, double it. Gave 50, double it. So I could give up some things and start there. It's not the only place to start. You can also start by inviting a friend to study the Bible with you. Maybe you're like, yo, Sean, I don't even know about this Bible and Jesus thing. Well, invite some friends. Pull in a youth leader and say, hey, can we study the Bible together? That's awesome. That's awesome. Be generous with that. Fast lunch once a week, once a month. Do a lunch, pick a lunch and fast. You guys talked about fasting, I don't know if it was last week or a week before, okay? Start praying specifically for opportunities to be generous and watch Jesus open all kinds of doors for you. And watch your heart, your thoughts, your actions begin to reflect that of Father God. I've never met a person who complained about or regretted being generous. I've met a lot of people who were stingy, and because of their selfishness, they're all crusty. You know what I'm talking about? It's like a crusty. I'm like, you ever eat like a crust of like an old pizza crust? It's like, no, ain't nobody like that. Ain't nobody got time for that, right? I've met a ton of people who regretted their stinginess. And here's the beautiful thing about Jesus' teaching. We get to choose which person we become. You get to choose. And your first and most important choice is, who will you bend a knee to? Who will you bend a knee to, you guys? Every human who draws breath worships something or someone. Every single human being. Eugene Peterson, pastor and author. Jaden, you can come on up. Thanks, buddy. Eugene Peterson, he just passed away a few years ago, put it this way. Now follow me on this, okay? Follow me on this, you guys. The Christian is a person who recognizes that our biggest problem is not achieving freedom, but in learning service under a better master. The Christian realizes that every relationship that excludes God or tosses him to the side becomes oppressive. It's not about achieving some freedom or to be free of something, but learning to commit ourselves to the proper authority. The proper authority. And if you've not done that, that's a great place to start. That's a great place to start. And it's simple and easy. It's, Jesus, be my master, be my author, be my authority. I want to follow you. I want to serve you. I'm going to have the leaders go ahead and stand to your feet. All of our adult leaders, you're going to stand to their feet. Thank you. And if you would like to pray with the leader, first and foremost, if you've not given Jesus your life, you've not given him your heart, you've not given over to his authority and his authorship of your life, I'd like for you to pray with the leader. And secondly, if you want to just get prayer, I mean, it's been a hard year, right? If you just need some prayer, you need a little extra love from an adult leader, this is your opportunity, this is your chance to be prayed over and just share kind of what's going on. I'm going to give you a couple minutes and then I'll wrap us up. So take some time to do that, all right? Right now, 3, 2, 1, go. we all go ahead and stand to our feet real quick? Thanks, dude. I'm going to leave you guys with 2 questions. What time we done? Okay, good. We got time then. I'd like for you guys to break into your small groups. Okay, you guys know small. If you don't know, just ask Pastor Jeff. And discuss 2 questions together. Who are the needy in my realm of influence, my sphere of influence? How can I be generous toward them? And the second, we should have them up on the screen too. And then what is one thing I can give away in May or over the next 3 months? Because we're going to do a state campaign called Give May Away for Speed the Light. And so my wife and I will give stuff away. Okay, I've got a few thoughts on what we're going to do. One thought is, I like coffee. I'm saying I like coffee. So whatever money that I would give towards coffee in May, I'm going to give it away to Speed the Light. That's one of the thoughts I have, and maybe a couple other things, but I say that for you to think about, So that will be the second question. What's one thing I can give away in May or over the next 3 months? Or really, maybe there's a goal you have. In the next 3 months, I'm going to give $150. Next 3 months, I'm going to do 50, So go ahead and break off into those groups and discuss those questions. I think we have them on the screen. Yes, thank you, tech team. You guys are on it, dude. I love you guys. And then